Welcome back, and we're live. What's going on, everybody? We are first show 2025. What's up, Todd?
Hey, happy New Year, man. I'm chilling, literally.
You are?
It's cold as hell out here.
Outside, but it's good in here. We're
Feels good.
Yeah, we're warm in here, and this is the first show of 2025. We've been, I don't know if we're slacking or what we're doing. We got to pick our pace up a little bit because we have a great show for everybody tonight. It's interview series, Late Night Green. Welcome back, everybody. We're super excited to be here. And tonight we have, this is I'm going to call it a historical guest for us because there's historical significance with our guest tonight and Cough Country. In the very, very beginning when we first started out, this was one of the first major events that we went to, and we met a ton of people. So without any further ado, allow me to introduce to you guys today Tim and David, the creators of the Cannabis Film Festival. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Hello,
Good.
hello. Can we hear them?
Yeah,
There we go.
I definitely can hear you. So we're doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We can hear you as well. So welcome to the show, guys. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, David. We're big fans of the Cannabis Film Festival, and so we're excited to have you. I know we've been chatting about this for a while. I got some feedback, guys. There we go.
I think it might. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Tim.
No. I didn't know exactly what the feedback was. So
I was hearing myself reverberate. No worries.
Oh,
and
cool.
And one of the things I was just telling Todd is that back in 2017, that's when I had the great opportunity to meet you. And during that meeting, not only did I get to learn about you and the Cannabis Film Festival, because you guys, certainly have a history that we're going to talk about tonight, but I also met a lot of people that I still have relationships with today because I met them in Brooklyn at the Cannabis Film Festival. So you guys hold a special place in Cough Country. You guys have always been supportive of us, and we want to definitely do that with you guys. So before we get started, I've got a little bit of a thing from the past. I don't know if you remember this, but you were on Cough Country News back in 2017, and you were on the news show with Steve, and he interviewed you. Do you remember that?
Oh wow, yeah, it was a while ago. There's been so much happening since then. So
I know. So allow me to refresh your memory. So if I can ask the control room, if you can put the Tim old school clip on. Here we go.
Oh wow,
I'm surprised you remember.
Let's roll it.
A great guest today. It's Tim Madsen from the Cannabis Film Festival. What's going on, Tim? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you taking the time. So tell me, man, the Cannabis Film Festival. What is it? What's going on with it? What do you do with it?
Sure. It's a touring cannabis-themed film festival that tours the United States from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast to extol the virtues of cannabis culture. Basically link filmmakers who are into making movies, especially that have a cannabis theme, with the general public, and hopefully we'll bridge the gap to a better world where cannabis culture is more understood.
Amen. I'm all about it. So what's your part with the festival?
Well, I'm the founder and the festival director, so I'm the guy who's behind the scenes making sure that everything flows and all comes together and happens the way it should.
Right on. Top dog. I like it.
Oh, that's you. Sorry.
So, yes, so if you could bring us back here. So I dug the clip up, Tim, because I wanted to put it on. I just thought it was so cool that there's such history there. And I guess they were the earlier days for you as well. In the festival. At that time in 2017, how long had you been going at that point?
Essentially, that was our second big year. The first year we launched in New York City, Times Square.
Gotcha. And then the one I met you at was in Williamstown, correct? Or Williamsburg.
Williamsburg. Yep, at the Wythe Hotel.
Yep, that's exactly where. And I met Rob Cantrell that night. I met so many folks that night. So before we get too deep into talking about history, let me go ahead and let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. Tim, you want to go first, and we'll go to
Sure.
David after that.
Yeah. So my name is Tim. I've been doing this film festival since its inception, which was about 2015. And that's when we actually kind of had a private launch, and then from there rolled it out and have been touring across the country with it, and trying to get in as many cities as possible. Before then, I've been doing film festivals since the late 90s when I was working with the Olympia Film Festival as their animation programmer, and had a lot of fun doing that. So ever since then, I've also started other film festivals that were more kind of family-oriented, and one that was horror-themed. But this one, I was trying to look for something niche, and nobody was really focusing on the cannabis aspect, because cannabis and movies kind of go hand in hand. And, so here we are. And David is a perfect partner.
You never saw a movie.
That's
Hey
a fact.
I'm David. Hey guys, I'm David. I've been part of the film festival since pretty much the inception with Tim, co-founders, and we've been doing this starting up upstate New York. Went to Brooklyn, went to Denver, Colorado, Seattle, all over from New York to Vermont to Miami to the West Coast. So, I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered. But we did this all for the community, and it's basically like a way for us to basically promote the plant, the legality of it, and also to basically uplift people and educate people on all the benefits of it, and help break down the stigmas that are associated with cannabis since 1937. So myself, I'm practicing as a filmmaker, photographer, and Tim and I have known each other for about 10 years or more, and we basically started off because we both liked weed and movies. So we used to hang out in our houses upstate New York. We both come to the city and do gigs, and then we started working together, and we produced a couple films together over the years. We actually just released our first feature film that we produced together. It's called The Shizzly Grug, and it's a mockumentary. We released it in 2023, and basically we ended up being on the film circuit right now. So we are actually filmmakers by trade. So what we're doing with the Cannabis Culture Film Festival is we're trying to basically incubate filmmakers with filmmakers in general, but also filmmakers that produce the genre of cannabis-related films. So we have comedies, documentaries, we have music videos, feature films, everything in between. You could have it as a regular film, but it's basically just as a loose affiliation with cannabis. And luckily, since we've been doing this for about 10 years now, the quality of the films has grown tremendously as far as production, story. There's always been cannabis movies since like the 60s, like Cheech and Chong, all that stuff. Going up until like the 2000s with, Jane and Silent Bob, that was 1991, right? But anyway,
so David, where are we catching you tonight? So we see the vibrant background there. Where?
I'm in New York at Madison Square Garden, overlooking the 7th Avenue and 35th Street.
Okay, gotcha.
Beautiful background.
Yeah, it's a great background. That's a great background. So tell me, from on a more day-to-day basis, what would you say your primary function with the film festival is? Like, what would be your forte within the group? Or within your
Tim and I have been doing this. Okay, Tim and I have been doing this since like the beginning. So basically, I help anything we need to do. It's basically Tim and I, and we have a couple people in between. But I help. We gather films. We produce the events. We gain sponsorships. We also, hold different like side events at the events, like different functions. We come up with ideas to pitch to people, and I help Tim and I raise money to produce the film festival because it's not free. We have to rent those venues. We have to raise sponsorships. So I network with my friends and colleagues and try to, you know, bring funding in so that we can travel to the next venue.
So how do you attract all of these young, talented artists, for your films? Do you have?
Well, we actually, yes. So we partner with Film Freeway, and before that was with Out of Box. That's really what dominated the film festival market. And I'm glad that Film Freeway kind of came along and broke that up, so it was a little bit more accessible. So we partnered with Film Freeway. We've been at it for a while. Last year was our 8th tour. This year's our 9th tour. And, because of that status, we're considered a gold level film festival. And that helps us get access to more filmmakers. And we've been, just as David is saying, we've been getting more and more quality entries. And where we're at now is fantastic. So
when did that happen, Tim, along the journey when you got that accreditation or that rating?
I was 5 years in.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. So what is? I guess let's kind of tear the process apart a little bit. And David, what we did is, because there's a lot of background sound, we muted him. But as soon as you're ready to talk, we'll unmute you. So don't worry, we got you. Awesome. So what would be what's the process, for filmmakers who want to be in the film festival? Where does it start, and how does that process look?
So they basically have an account set up on Film Freeway, and that allows them to plug in all their films that they've been making. They would post their posters, their credit info, director, producer, writer, and then your actors and things like that. You put a blurb, you could plug in a trailer, but from Film Freeway, they're able to access and browse multiple film festivals around the world and simply enter their film. So that's kind of where it is for us.
So do any of these filmmakers that are specializing in cannabis films, do they really just focus on your film festival, or do they take it out into more of a mainstream audience?
Oh, definitely. It's not all just us. They take it into a mainstream audience. Some of the entries may be very heavy on the cannabis theme, and so sometimes that might limit them in other film festivals, but we find that a lot of that kind of content doesn't get, it doesn't always get turned down, and it will be in other film festivals besides ours for sure.
And David, you were going to say something?
I was going to say that we basically, once we receive the films, we have a team of people that judge the films with us, and then once we accept the film,
the next stage of it.
So that helps you get more of the A-list artists, I guess.
Yeah, and then once the film is selected by our team, we basically help them promote the film on with our social medias, and also during coming up to the day of the event, we make sure that we follow through with the filmmakers and make sure that they basically give us content to share and help market their films. So it's a pretty, it doesn't sound like it's a crazy amount of work, but it is, because it's a nail biter at the very end when you get down to the last week before the film festival, and we're making sure we have all the assets in order, and also to help them. So Tim, do you have anything else to add to that?
How many?
That's exactly right.
How many do you guys take? Is there a specific number that you cap this at each year? I know there's categories, but is there a overall number?
Ultimately, it's a matter of how many days do we have to be able to screen movies, and that will tell you right there how many movies you can take in. Because if you get 2 days, you're going to obviously have more movies than you would if you just had 1 day. So really, that's kind of the limiting factor. And since day one, we've had amazing films, by the way. It's not like we're just getting great films now. We've had them since the beginning, including films from notable filmmakers with big filmmaker fathers. So,
I remember everybody raving. Like you said, that was your second one that you did that I met you at, and people were raving about the films then. And we're talking about 7 years ago or 8 years ago. So that, I think that certainly speaks for itself. So for our audience who's never been to a cannabis culture film festival, could you describe what it would be like for them to attend one of these, and how long is it, and how do they participate, what can they expect, things along that line?
Sure. So in regards to this, yep. So go ahead, David.
I was going to say, I think it really depends on which film festival you attend, because we travel across the country in different cities. Wherever we get sponsorships, we travel to those cities and we try to cater an event based on the situation in the city that we're in. So also it depends how much sponsorships we raise so that we can hire teams, and also a lot of times we have comedians and bands that play the festivals. So it really depends on which one you go to. Tim, if you can add anything to that.
No, totally. In regards to the festivals, not all of them will have comedians, not all of them will have live bands, but for the film festivals that we can raise the money to be able to get that included, we'd always like to have comedy included, because Rob Cantrell and a team of comedians would, I'm sure like to get more work, but we got to be able to pay them. So not every film festival, but we try to.
Gotcha. So, and how long is it? Do you have various viewings? What would be like a typical cost that people can expect? How long would they expect for their viewing to be? Just in general, just so folks have an idea of what, when you get to their city.
It's the same as going to the movies, man. Like when you go to the theater after you burned one or whatever you're doing. It's like it's like a $10 to $20 ticket. For us, it's about average 10 to 15 per screening. But what we will do is we'll have like a feature film, and then we'll have a short film program. And the short film program is about anywhere from 10 to 20 short films. And it's the same price as attending a feature film, because it's about the same length, which is about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45. But it usually wraps up around the 2-hour mark after we've done a Q&A with the filmmakers who are in-house with us. And then we reset and get ready for the next screening.
And you do it again.
We do it again. So for the first night, if we did a 2-day event on a Friday, it would open, say, around, we do a red carpet and have a band, and then kick off with the host. And then the first screening would start at 7, wrap by 9 o'clock, and then by 10 o'clock we're doing like usually most often is a short film program, but sometimes it might be 2 features. The first night, the next day will be a feature, a short film program, another feature, and then 2 short film programs, because what we've found is that short films tend to have more of an audience. There's a lot more draw to what it is, and there's a lot more variety. And there's a lot more filmmakers that are involved who also bring their people as well.
Gotcha.
That's true, because I was looking at your a couple of your films from your artists online, and I quickly went to the short ones. There was one like 14 minutes or something.
That's because you have a short attention span.
Well, I do have ADD. So,
a lot of
like
people do. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Can I add something into it, guys?
Absolutely, of course.
So basically, the last one we did 2 in the past few months. We did Camden, New Jersey, and we did Brooklyn. But the last one we did in Camden, we actually expanded on the platform, and we added in a script pitch for filmmakers, and we also had a couple of speakers that were in the cannabis community, influencers that were pretty well to do, and with a following, and they basically helped us. We helped them. We helped them tell their, make a platform to tell their story, and we also, we had the script pitch was amazing, and we had a couple other people there. It was hosted by Steve Bloom, who you all probably know, and Steve is an avid film critic for 30 years, and he was also the editor at the High Times magazine. So
cool.
Hats off to Steve Bloom, and
hats off.
Else to talk about, maybe talk about Brooklyn.
Actually, we're literally sending him an award for being our best host, and he was an amazing host at Camden. Thanks definitely for mentioning that, and also mentioning the Stoner movie script pitch session, because that went very well, and we're definitely going to be doing more of that. That's where basically filmmakers could bring a script, and pitch it, and get live feedback from filmmakers and people like Steve Bloom. We actually had a few producers in the house who were listening, in addition to Steve Bloom, to our script pitch session in Camden, and had some pretty awesome scripts that were being pitched. I'm hoping that at some point they get the funding they need to get made, but that's another thing, another stage where we'd like to grow this is what we'd like to do is not just do the script pitches, but the second stage, which is provide, an avenue or a resource to be able to get funding so they can actually make these movies happen.
So when they do this do they do the pitches privately with you guys, or are the pitches at the film festivals so everyone can contribute an opinion?
Yeah,
It's
at the
actually part
film
of the,
festival, and
part
so
of the-
Go ahead, David.
It's actually part of the film festival, and we have different screenings throughout the day. So we have different timings for screenings, then we have breaks in between. So in the morning of the second day of the film festival in Camden, we had a 2-hour session with about 10 or 12 filmmakers, and got some amazing pitches. So Tim, I don't know what else.
I love that idea because basically getting the feedback on the early end, on the front end. I mean, that's going to help them and guide them, and frankly, at the end of the day, get better movies produced by having that invaluable feedback, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me ask you guys this: how often do you see the same filmmakers coming through each year, or is it a one and done, or is there once they're in they keep contributing and submitting?
not often, but we do have a few filmmakers that have returned with their entries, and now we actually in Brooklyn had an amazing short animated film that won Best Animated Short, called I Am Duck, and he is super excited about continuing on with us, and he's got another project already in the works, and he's like, hey, I want to screen it with you guys, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. That's cool. And so we are going to do some screenings tonight, and that's something that we're going to be able to show everybody, and you guys are going to be able to give us a little bit of insight on those. So I'm actually really excited for that as well. So how many what type of genres do you encounter or have you encountered over the years? Or is, because, I guess cannabis content's no different than any other content. It's just, it's
exactly that. You got literally everything: documentaries, dramas, lots of dramas, horror, plenty of horror, obviously comedy, it's across the board.
Are any
It's like David was
genres,
saying too in music videos. I'm sorry.
Are there any genres that are more popular than others, would you say? Let's say if you want to promote a film, what would be
definitely
easier to promote?
Documentary has a lot of legs, and in regards to comedy, if you know exactly how to reach the audience, that seems to connect really well. We would like to see more cannabis action films.
Cannabis action films.
All right.
Which we actually did. Remember David, Dark Harvest with Cheech Marin?
Oh.
Yeah, so that was back in the day. That was about the time I think that you were there. It was because that was something that we would have screened in Brooklyn for sure.
Yeah, that's super
That's
cool.
funny because, about 10 minutes ago when you guys were talking, and we're talking about films, and I was thinking about, what kind of film would I make? And, action film would work. Because my thought was a marijuana truck, a bag falls off, I grab it, and now I'm running with 10 people behind me. Okay. And that's how we start.
Well, see, I think we have a junior filmmaker in the making right here, guys. I really do. So I'll tell you what.
There's AI tools right now that you can actually make that whole thing happen if you want.
Hey, we'll be back.
Tim, don't tell him that. Let's make him work for it here. I don't think you should get to start with AI right away. You know what I mean? I think you should earn your way to AI. All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to take a real quick commercial. It's probably like a minute and a half or so, and then we'll be right back. I think there's even a scene in the commercial. I don't know if we've got the Rob Cantrell one pulled into this, but maybe we do. But let's go take a commercial right now, and we'll be back, and we'll start taking a look at some of these films, because I'm excited to do that. You excited?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
So many dispensaries have resorted to a bland, impersonal shopping experience, where you often don't even get to see a sample of the cannabis you're planning on purchasing before you buy it. If you're looking for that extra personal touch, come check out High Roller Dispensary in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Our staff are avid cannabis connoisseurs who are sure to help you find the strains that fit you best. Whether you're looking for premium flower, edibles, concentrates, or tinctures, we have you covered with over 100 different strains to choose from, all of which are able to be seen, smelled, and thoroughly examined in our elegant showroom. If you're in a rush, we offer a seamless online ordering system that allows for in-depth exploration of all that we have to offer. So whether you're a novice or a seasoned stoner, be sure to stop by High Roller Dispensary and we'll make sure you're floating on Cloud 9 by the time you leave.
I'm Rob Cantrell, and you're watching Cough Country TV. Right here, right now. This is it. You're watching it. Cough Country. You're in this country, cough it up. Cough it up for Cough Country TV. Right here, right now, on the internet and beyond. Media, television, pizza, weed, legalized.
Right around here, 15 inches, maybe if you're younger, you go up to 19 inches, you know? Yeah, you know, you already went the bigger.
Sometimes a CIO might make commitments to a CEO that they just can't fulfill. And it's very hard to succeed in those environments. You really want to be able to set the expectation right up front.
How would you feel with no sex, no weed for a month or two? I'm going to be really angry.
I feel sorry for Jake.
Yeah, Jake's going to get fucked up.
Wow, this is Phil. This is all you. This is the Cough Country OG pink hoodie.
No, our motto is when they go low, we get high.
And we are back. That was short. I told you it would be not painful. And Rob Cantrell was in that sequence for our commercials. So I would love to see him again. So Rob, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the show. You've been a part of Cough Country more than you probably even know. So anyway, so what we're going to do now, gentlemen, is we are going to go through these films. And so what I'm going to ask is the control room to tell me which one they're going to put up first. I believe it's in the same order that you gave it to me, Tim, but if it's not, it's not. Let me know, control room, which one's the first one, and I'm going to let these guys talk about it. Criminalization of America. That's up first. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to see with this one.
Yeah, that's 848, the criminalization of America, and just in case David's battery might die, I would like to give it over to him, and maybe he could talk about it before he has to, you know.
You got it. You're up, Dave.
848 is a code basically that if you are a kingpin law. So basically, if you're considered a kingpin by the federal government, you basically get a life sentence. So this movie is basically about people who were involved in that industry back in all the way going back to the 50s and 60s. But the ones that are still locked up from the 80s onward basically were locked up for life. So this movie is about a couple of the ex kingpins that basically got out, and they were able to basically. I'm sorry, I'm ruining it, but they basically were able to help them get released early. So this movie is about features Rick Ross is one of the featured people, and it's about how he helps them get out of prison. So,
cool.
Anything else you guys have to Tim? Sorry.
No, it's definitely exactly right, and it's also pretty emotional because you see these people who are clearly being targeted, clearly being criminalized, and it's heartbreaking. So yeah.
All right, well let's put that video up. Yeah, there you are, Tim. Let's go ahead and put. Yeah, I know. Let's put that video up and let's let the audience take a look at it. I'm excited to see it.
Cool.
21 U.S.C. Section 848.
The section numbers of a federal criminal statute.
And 848 is the number for the federal
Kingpin statute.
Accuses a person of being at the apex of a drug organization.
At 848, they have to prove that it was at least, I think, 4 guys work for you.
And in some cases, you gotta show that you made at least $10 million in a year.
That statute says if you're the principal administrator of a criminal enterprise that grosses $10 million within 12 months.
It was a natural life sentence. And it carries a life sentence.
A mandatory sentence of life without parole.
Natural death, life with no parole.
How much money you can make where somebody could tell you that you have to spend the rest of your life in jail? Like, I don't know what that number is. I don't think there is a number.
That's powerful.
Wow.
That's powerful, for sure. That's powerful. So that is obviously a documentary, Tim, correct?
Yes, it's a full feature-length documentary, about 85, 90 minutes.
And if someone from our audience, or like myself, wants to see the full video, where would we go ahead and do that?
I would probably search it out on YouTube. I don't know if they've released it there yet, but they're putting a plan in place, and at some point it will be streaming. So,
okay,
yeah.
You know, I never knew what 848 was, and I'm glad I don't.
Right.
Yeah, right on. Now that was really good. I thought that was really good. What's the next control room? What's the next one? Higher spaces.
Oh.
Higher space.
Higher space. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Tell us about Higher Space.
So Higher Space is a short film. It was definitely a fan favorite or audience favorite, and it's wild. It's almost like think Hanson's on acid.
Hanson's on acid. Okay, I like that.
So or Muppets, which I don't want to defame the Muppets because that's actually what brought me to New York City, was doing avant-garde puppetry, and I actually got to go to the Muppet Workshop when it was still in New York City. So, but yeah, anyway, in regards to it, it's crazy. It's definitely worth watching.
All right, well, let's take a look at the preview. Roll it.
Somewhere in space, this could be happening right now. An adventure unlike anything on Earth. It's a spectacle light years ahead of its time. An epic space saga packed with action, drama, and romance. A tale of legendary heroes, cruel villains, and exotic aliens. A trillion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this spring.
All right then, time to party. Shit, not again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fucking love that one. I love that one.
I'll watch that.
That was definitely, like I said, it was a hit, and we're looking forward to seeing more from those filmmakers. And they actually won an award when they screened that one the first time, which we screened it a second time in Brooklyn in December recently. But before that, we gave them Best Short for sure.
How long? That is a short film, and so a short film would be considered a film under what?
Anywhere from 3 to 40 minutes, essentially.
Gotcha.
So that is, I think that short was about 8-9 minutes.
Gotcha. I thought that was fantastic. I like that one a lot. That's we need to sit down and watch that one.
Man, let's get to a higher space. Let's go.
Let's get to a higher space. All right. And what's next on our list? Is it the CC Sizzle? Or is that a sizzle reel for you guys? The CC Sizzle?
That could be. That's a good point. No, actually, that might be an animation or the music video.
Well, you know
I don't
what?
know what that is.
Why don't we play it, and then you'll tell us on the back end what it is. Let's play it.
There we go. That's a great idea.
All right, cool.
Oh, cool.
We're all creative, all of us. But I feel like when you tap in, when you smoke a little bit, that's when the writing happens, the ideas start generating.
It's without a doubt that cannabis affects creativity and that cannabis interacts with the creative process, and that we don't yet know or understand what the therapeutic value or how medicinal it can be to have a creative outlet or to connect emotionally with your creativity.
Cannabis kind of helps me get away from the real world. It just helps me to kind of reconnect with a pace our society has moved so far away from.
Cannabis had always helped me in my life keep things straight and just push on through. And as I had children, I noticed that I was consuming still, but I was consuming to get through my day and to not be crazy. So the idea of food is love and ganja is love, it came together naturally.
It helps to kind of process emotions from a higher point of view. So you start to develop a vision. We have conversations about weed all the time.
It is a drug, and you have to be careful about it and how you use it.
The cannabis experience is not goofy anymore. The branding for cannabis years ago was just like, if we're gonna have a conversation while smoking, it has to be funny and silly. And now you see like actual adult professional people who are not goofy. Like we're also goofy, like it's a part of us, but cannabis is just there like tea would be there, or like your glass of whiskey would be there, and just listen to people and talk to them about wealth, about art. Has weed ever made me better as an artist? No. It was one of my tools.
Cannabis plus creativity. Now, I like that a lot, and I'll tell you, I'll let you talk. I want you to tell us about this in a second, but here's what I like about it from my perspective. They address the creativity issue, and you don't hear a lot of people talking about how cannabis it's just a massive enhancer of one's creativity.
The other side, not just sitting around getting high.
Exactly.
But producing.
Yep. And then the other part of this that I thought was really cool as well is that, they're talking about what we're here for. We're here about taking mainstream type of media without it having to be on the edge of being stoner-ish or what you perceive as stoner-ish, and bring common acceptable formats of television with a cannabis twist to the public. And this, we hope to be as transformative as what they're talking about in the film, because that is where it's at, and that's where we're moving towards. So, Tim, tell us about this film.
Sure. So that film screened at our Brooklyn event, the Cannabis Festival screening, and they won Best Documentary Short. That is, let me get the filmmaker's name. We're literally about to send them awards. We have the plaques that I just finished. So 1 second. I should have actually had this all up here.
Take your time.
But yeah, so it's a short documentary. She works on other projects as well, but this one was fantastic, and we were very happy. Her name is Ilana Frankel. I'm saying that wrong. Elena Frankel. So,
Gotcha.
And yeah, fantastic mini documentary, and
Very
highly
good.
recommend seeing it when you get a chance.
And again, where would one go to see that?
Again, so in regards to the filmmakers, not all of them have websites, so it's not easy to kind of just send you off to like a URL. It's the same thing again with YouTube, hoping that maybe at some point the filmmaker will release them on YouTube, which most often happens with short films. But sometimes they might have other plans for them, you know.
Gotcha.
I don't know if shorts are viable on streaming as well as they were before, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how these guys monetize these short movies, but, you know, these are things that, I mean, I would pay to watch these things.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Entertaining. So,
shit, maybe there's a conversation for us to have down the road on how to get some of this content out. But real quick, and I hate to do this, but can we go back to that last film before the documentary, the one that we found so entertaining and funny? Tell us about that, about the filmmaker a little bit with that film, like, because you've got to have one heck of a creative mind, really creative mind, to be able to put something like that together.
Well, you know, puppeteers are. I've been a puppeteer myself. That's something that I got into because I'm old, and I grew up watching the Muppet Show, and it was something that I was actually watching with my family. So there was some generational sharing going on when it came to that show, and I love puppetry. So, and I love the Muppets, and I love the Hensons, and yeah. In regards to that. I used to intern for Between the Lions for WGBH in New York City. It was one of the first internships I had. And being in the writer's room is the most wild experience you will ever have. I've also been to pilot shows that were recorded in the Muppet studio, and they never have seen the light of day. I wish they would, because it's the most funniest, most wildest puppetry stuff you'll ever see. And this is exactly the same kind of thing, except probably, you know, going from 10 up to 11 with with that one. So yeah.
No, that's super fantastic, super creative. I love it. I love it.
So are there a lot of artists that do puppetry?
In regards to entries, we don't get a lot of puppetry entries, but we have had some. We've had one where the bong was had an animated face, so you could basically say it was a puppet. And that was actually voiced by the actor who does, oh boy, with the character, I'm forgetting his name, but anyway, yeah.
Have you had any cartoons, or does that fall into the same bucket?
Oh, for sure. We get lots of animated films, so
Gotcha.
both stop motion and traditional 2D. And you know, I Am Duck is one of those traditional 2D animations that we just got recently. So I think you guys have that trailer, and looking forward to you guys screening that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are. So Control Room, what's the next one up? I'll Be Seeing You.
Oh, cool. This is a music video by my friend in Germany, Jürgen Kling, and his studio is called Weirdomation, and he's currently working on another project, but this is a music video for a band called Jughead's Revenge, and it's awesome. This guy is a fantastic stop-motion animator, and the full film is available online. Just look up Weirdomations, which is WEIRDOUGHMATION on YouTube, and you can see the whole short.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and roll that. Yeah, we had an abrupt ending there, but that is pretty damn cool. I like that a lot. So that, you said, Tim, that one's available. That one people can go ahead and see right away. Tim's froze. You can come back to us. How about you, David? Are you froze too? Up, Tim's back. Tim's back. Tim's back.
Film broke you guys. It broke the system.
Yeah, that was
that film was so good that it broke. It made you freeze and it broke everything. That's a really that's a pretty action-packed type of creative short. Is that a short or a full feature?
It's a short. It's a music video, so it's literally like 4 minutes long. But the animation's so fantastic that he has animated it to the point where it looks like it's real. So it looks like this tiny skeleton has come to life and is skating and just trashing a graveyard. And it's he's very talented. He's an amazing stop motion animator.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had to peep that one.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been one that I don't want to fully see so far. Yeah, so, and I purposely, I want it to be authentic, so we didn't watch these ahead of time. So this was, I knew we had them, but I wanted to get that authentic reaction. So what's the next one? What do you got in there? Say again. Nisha?
I guess we're gonna have to play this one, and I'll have to tell you after.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just do a lot all the time. I just always want to be busy and always want to be painting, so I just try to cram as much of that as I can into every day. Besides the world and taking over it is what's next. My name is Misha Tatunik, aka M. Dot, and I'm a painter, muralist, illustrator, and designer. I believe that what I do is a form of meditation. Art is a form of meditation. Painting is a form of meditation. It is part of my daily routine, part of my daily schedule, part of the meditation that is art. Anything repetitive that yields some type of result, it helps me open up my mind and, release the creative juices and get things going. Cannabis influences my life on a daily basis. I often use it as part of my ritual and routine before I paint or during the paint, something that focuses me, something that gets me in the mood, gets me going and doing a lot of creative things. Cannabis is definitely a big part of my life. It definitely smooths over the rough edges. It's a beautiful thing.
Cool. My Grind Daily, Tim. Tell us about My Grind Daily.
Well, you saw at the end it said Dream Clay Pictures, so that's actually David's short series called My Grind Daily, where he's trying to feature different artists who have, who are cannabis users. So essentially that's what it is, and this one features that artist, and he is a pretty big painter there, and I think around the world David would know more. So I kind of, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what kind of struck me during it is it kind of reminded me, I don't know, and Tim and David, I don't know if you remember Kevin Meaney, the comedian, but we did some work in our early days with Kevin, and we were up in Connecticut, and we were there we actually rolled into the town. They were having something called Starry Nights. And Starry Nights was in Connecticut in the community. There's a small community, and they turn it into it. And they have an art gallery, and they do a lot of the businesses all participate in this evening. So we go up to the art gallery, and Kevin starts asking questions, and he asks the artist. He goes, "So how's cannabis influenced your painting?" And he goes, "Man," he goes, "that's a really weird question." He goes, "Well, if you really want to know, go inside and look at the art." And Kevin goes, "Oh, so it's in the art." And so I just thought that was really funny. And that documentary reminded me of it. David, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
He might not be on, only because I think the last time I got a text from him, he said he had like 2%. So
we have a back. Okay. I do see him frozen there, so we probably lost him.
Yeah, but that's another example of a cannabis user,
right?
That is so creative and productive.
Yep. Yep, and being able to illustrate that and show that visually, and then, it sounds to me like we're kind of walking through his like a day in the life is kind of what it's coming across as to me.
Yes, and that's essentially what is the, and that's essentially what the series is about. So it's a day in the life of an artist, and you're kind of getting just a snippet at a minute. I think it's a minute or 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Yep. So that's cool. Do we have any more in the control room? So the next one, Tim, is Walking Stereotype.
Oh, this is great. So that's Brett Puglisi. He's a filmmaker who we've had a few of his shorts. He's one of those kind of regular filmmakers for us. He came to the screening in Brooklyn recently because we screened Walking Stereotype again, which he actually won Best Short Comedy in Miami. So when we were in Miami, he was there for the screening, and he took home the award for this one. And it's a fantastic, funny short.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. Let's roll it.
Spicy flaming hot.
Shut up.
Spicy flaming hot sauce.
I can use whatever fucking sauce that I want.
Let's see. We got fucking like fire. Yeah.
D'Angelo, shut the fuck up.
Diablo. Yeah, this is the real shit, isn't it?
Shut up, D'Angelo.
Isn't it, Trev? This is what you and your friends put on all your tacos, your cheesy gordita
D'Angelo, you're not gonna keep me from eating my cheesy gordita crunches.
You could burn your fucking face off at this point.
Those are my favorite tacos.
I'm done caring. Fucking done caring.
That's great. That's really good. So tell the artist, the filmmaker on this one, what's his or her background?
They're essentially, I believe, when it came to this short film, they were just out of college, and I'm not going to quote myself on it, but I believe he went to college for filmmaking. But his friend Joel there is a pretty notorious, I guess, YouTuber. But that's kind of what they do. They just get together, have some fun, and make shorts. But this one is definitely keyed in, and yeah, you guys should seek this one out. And more than likely, I believe this is available on YouTube, so you just seek out the title of the film. I'll be listen to me, Walking Stereotype.
Yep.
And the full short is hilarious. It just had me rolling.
That I'm 100% in on that one.
I like the acting.
Yeah, these guys. Yeah, it's like watching your friends argue about weed and stupid shit like sauce for your burrito or gorgito.
And
or whatever
that filmmaker did another one called 420 Club, and that was totally all about friends getting together on 420 to celebrate the holiday. And there's a lot of dynamics. So he was actually able to. That was his second entry to our film festival, and in that one he had a lot more people involved, and he's a pretty talented director because he was able to demonstrate that he can get all these people to work in a way that pulled off a decent comedy short. So
yeah,
we're looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Yeah, that's really cool. That was enjoyable, and we're definitely going to check that out. And listen, I'm hoping that we can feature some of these filmmakers on our show and be able to do some interviews with them and learn more about, how they got to where they are. I'd love to hear some of the backstories on this.
Yeah, what's the grind like?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's something that we could probably set up because this year we have some more tours in the works, and maybe that's something that we could situate because it would be good for another good opportunity for the filmmakers to be able to present their work. Yeah. So
you work, Tim, you work off a calendar year. So what we're looking at is all the 2024 entries, and then there's all new ones coming out for this year. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yep, as soon as we start opening for submissions, which we haven't done yet, that's when we'll start receiving new entries.
Gotcha.
But there are filmmakers that we do work with. Brett has already said, which, Walking Stereotype, that he'll more than likely be making another entry. And definitely Nick will, I Am Duck, which is coming up. He has a new one, and we're looking forward to that as well.
Awesome. Great. Awesome. Yeah. So, we're looking forward to it as well. So we have one more, I think. What's the name of it? The Podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so The Podcast is a comedy short That was it's a fantastic short that they are looking to turn into a series, and I'll just let the trailer kind of speak for itself and then talk more afterwards.
That's a good idea. I like when you do that. Let's roll it.
Dude, first podcast.
So much fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we killed for sure.
What the fuck was that?
What is this I'm hearing about a podcast?
I just don't know why Richard was so upset at us.
You guys gotta be on your best behavior.
Is it really even that bad? Like,
Yeah, it's really bad.
Word has gotten around.
What are you talking about?
At least you both can see what the problem is.
It's racist.
what?
What the fuck is this?
I am gonna get fired. I'm just really happy we're doing this podcast with you.
Wow, that looks like that's a shit show in the making right there, huh?
That's like 20 minutes, by the way, so that's one of our longer short films, but they're trying to turn that into a series, and I think that they could definitely do it. Their blurb is, in the aftermath of their first podcast recording, best friends Nick and Garrett try to make the most out of getting canceled. While their relationships and careers are at stake, the podcast could be their ticket to fame. And they start their podcast called Nick Garrett. So it's
great premise.
Yeah, you gotta. That is one that I believe. I don't know if they've released yet, but as soon as they do, they're hoping to get more. So this actually might be a pilot.
That's it. It did say 2025 at the very end.
Yeah, so they're trying to get some networks interested, so we'll see if that might be the way they go, which would be great if they do.
Man, that's awesome. Listen, I mean, listen, Tim, I really think, and I say this with all sincerity, I really think you're doing and have been doing the industry a real service. Not only the filmmakers a service, because clearly you're offering these guys an avenue and girls to put this stuff out, but I really think you're doing the industry a service as well. And so I want to tip my hat to you and for all that you've done.
Thank you.
You know, and super supportive and so forth with Cough Country, like over the years. So we really appreciate that. I wanted to ask you a question. Did you know that we had a virtual host as a part of Late Night Green? Did you know that, Tim?
No.
Well, her name is her name is she wants to talk before she's ready, but her name is Mary Jane. Her name's Mary Jane, and I want to introduce Mary Jane to Tim. Mary Jane, meet Tim. He's the founder and one of the founders of the Cannabis Culture Film Festival. Meet Tim, Mary Jane.
Hi, Tim. It's great to meet you. Your work with the Cannabis Culture Film Festival sounds amazing.
Well, thank you.
So that's very sweet. I don't know if you can hear him, Mary Jane, but he said thank you. Can you I know you had some questions for Tim. You want to go ahead and rip one off?
Sure. Tim, what inspired you to start the Cannabis Culture Film Festival?
I'm a big fan of film festivals, and actually it started when I was doing work with High New York. I started a film festival with them called the New York City Cannabis Film Festival, and that we had going for a few years, and then there was some, a little bit of shaky ground going on, and I had to kind of depart from that, and I wanted to stay in that space, and I started the Cannabis Culture Film Festival and was planning since day one to turn it into a more touring film festival, so it's not just locked into one location. Just a better way of being able to spread these movies around the country, and then hopefully, if we're able, which we do, multiple screenings in a year, we return to the same location, so it is annual in some places like Brooklyn.
Awesome. Mary Jane, were you able to hear everything that Tim just said?
Yes, I caught that. It's really interesting to hear about his inspiration and journey.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions, Mary Jane?
Yes. Tim, what do you see as the future of cannabis culture and media?
That's a great question. Right now, I don't know. I don't know if it was rescheduled or not. I believe that, where it's at right now is still precarious, so more than likely it'll be continuing on as the way it is. As far as changes, if cannabis ever becomes fully legalized and gets treated like alcohol, which I think might open things up more, because then you could start advertising, because when it comes to cannabis, you're not really seeing a lot of cannabis ads out there, but that's because of all the regulations. And if it was to be legalized, maybe you would see more. So it would give opportunities for video producers to produce that kind of content. It would also mean that maybe networks might have short film programs, maybe they are themed in the same vein. But that's a long way off. So right now it's going to be continuing to see these kind of films in art houses and cinemas that get rented out by people like me to bring them to your community, so that way you can enjoy them too.
Well. I'll tell you, Mary Jane, you come through with the good questions for Tim. We thank you for hanging out with us during the show, and we look forward to you being on all the other shows that we have coming up. So thank you, Mary Jane.
Thank you. I've enjoyed being here, and I'm looking forward to more shows.
Awesome. So, Tim, this was pretty fun, man. I enjoyed this, and I think maybe next time we'll get you in studio if we can. I don't think we're that far away. We're a little bit far away, but we're not that far away. So hopefully we can get you in. Actually, you know what, control room, while we're doing this, if you can just push the #1 button that's under Tim's input, that will put him in a small box here, and we can have him in a small box while we're talking. That's the idea. Just do it with the one for Tim.
You going to hotbox Tim?
There he is.
Hotbox time.
Yeah, see, Tim, if you were here, we could hotbox you, man.
We're going to be hotboxing in a minute.
Yeah, it looks like Todd's getting busy. We try not to smoke too much during the interview shows. We save it for a late-night show. Tonight, we do not have a late-night show, so everybody tune in next week. We've got interviews coming up next week. We've got some late-night shows coming up. I've got a bunch of stories and videos and things that have accumulated that you and I need to get through and discuss. We have a lot to go through.
We got some content.
We got some content to go through. So I just wanted to say to Tim, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was really great to see our history together with that clip early on with you talking to Steve. We're all
I forgot about that. And you rolled that in front of me, and wow, I totally forgot about that.
And I like surprises like that.
You didn't warn them, man.
No, that's what I said. I like to have a couple surprises for the guests, because when you have history with someone like this, Tim's no stranger to us, and so when you have history like that, I was suspecting maybe he didn't remember that, and so
definitely.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for me to go dig that out. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you, man.
No, we appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to wrap shit up. I guess we'll go through some of the stuff. Hang tight, Tim. We'll just chat with you when the show's over, real quick. But did you have a good time? Did you learn something?
Man, this was great. I can't wait to go to one of the future shows.
Yep.
So look forward to seeing you at.
We missed Camden. Camden,
close,
we
yes.
were like, Tim and I, like we had kind of reconnected right after Camden. I'm like, no, this was right under our nose here in Philly. So
we'll catch it.
Yeah, we're going to catch it. And listen, I look forward to doing a lot with the Cannabis Culture Film Festival. I think we can, I think between Cough Country TV and that, we can help each other. I think there's avenues to be able to broadcast some of the things that Tim is featuring. So, there's all kinds of conversations for us to have as time goes on, and I'm excited about having those. And you're a great guy, Tim, and you're doing a great service for the industry.
Likewise.
We appreciate David being on the show. He's a great guy as well, and he's in the thick of the action. We know that as well. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys haven't subscribed to Late Night Green, subscribe to Late Night Green, subscribe to Cough Country, hit the like button, hit subscribe, activate the bell so you guys are notified when we have new videos. And we should be back to you guys on Tuesday. We are always looking for people to come on the late night show and join in on the conversation. So, you know, just for an example, tonight, if Tim had the time to stay for the after show, and we have the table full of panelists, you know, this is a great way for Tim to connect with people who would be coming to the show. It's a great way for the folks at our table to be able to ask questions to, you know, our experts that we have on our show. And so we're thankful for Tim. We're thankful for the opportunity to do this. Last word for you, my friend.
Man, another great night.
Yep.
Looking forward to our next guest. And another great show.
Yep. Shout out Cushy Labs will be in next week. They're a new manufacturer in New Jersey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the Late Night Green. I think next week I'll start giving out my my X account so we can mix it up with everybody. You need to get one.
There you go.
You need to get one. All right, guys. So we are out of here. Thank you for joining us. Late Night Green interview edition. Peace.
Do the damn thing.
Do it.